Look around you right now. Most men today share the same disease, and I'm willing to bet you've seen it everywhere. They desperately want to look harmless. Watch them. They soften their voice mid-sentence when they think they came across too strong. They hide their real opinions behind safe, agreeable statements. They laugh at jokes they don't find funny just to keep the peace. They pretend to be easygoing, flexible, understanding. Anything so nobody ever feels threatened by them. And when you ask them why they do this, they'll tell you they're just being polite, respectful, considerate. But you and I both know what it really is. It's fear. Fear of conflict, fear of rejection, fear of standing out, fear of being labeled as too much, too intense, too difficult. They've convinced themselves that blending in is a virtue, that making everyone comfortable is success, that being liked by strangers is more important than being respected by the people who matter. But then there's you. You don't beg to be understood. When someone misunderstands your intentions, you don't chase them down the street trying to explain yourself. You don't twist yourself into uncomfortable shapes just to make other people feel comfortable around you. You move differently, you speak differently, you carry yourself differently, and because of that, modern society has only one label ready for you. Intimidating. You've heard it before, haven't you? Maybe not to your face, but you felt it. People say things like, he's cold, he's too intense, there's something off about him, I can't really read him. Now, let me ask you something. Did you hurt these people? Did you threaten them? Did you do anything to deserve being labeled as dangerous? No, you just refused to shrink yourself for their comfort. And that alone was enough. Here's what Machiavelli would say if he could observe your life right now. He wouldn't care how friendly you seem on the surface. He wouldn't care how many people you smile at or how polite you are in conversations. He would ask one question: is this man easy to control? Because in a world built on manipulation, social pressure, and emotional blackmail, a dangerous man is not the one who shouts the loudest or makes the biggest scene. A dangerous man is the one who cannot be easily bent, bought, or bullied into submission. And that kind of man, he always disturbs the weak. Think about it. Your calmness under pressure makes people nervous. Your refusal to explain yourself irritates people who are used to extracting explanations. Your ability to see through games, manipulation tactics, and fake behavior, it doesn't make you popular. It makes you dangerous. Now, this video is not about fake alpha behavior. I'm not here to teach you how to puff your chest out or how to act tough in front of strangers. That's performance. That's insecurity dressed up as confidence. This is about something much quieter, much darker, and far more real. This is about the conviction in your eyes that makes people look away. This is about the way you read people without them knowing they're being read. This is about the scars you carry that change the way you move through the world. The silence you're completely comfortable sitting in, the discomfort you deliberately choose, the opinions you've stopped caring about, and the mystery you protect like it's classified information. These are not trends you picked up from social media. These are signals, deep signals that reveal something about who you've become. So today, we're breaking down 7 signs you have a dangerous, intimidating personality through the cold, calculating eyes of Machiavelli himself. And if you recognize yourself in these signs, understand this. You were never meant to live like a harmless ornament collecting dust on someone's shelf. You were meant to live as a man. Others think twice before trying to control. Before we dive in, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose strength over comfort. Let's go. Number 1, eyes of conviction. The first place a dangerous man reveals himself is not in his words, it's in his eyes. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? Your eyes don't wander around the room looking for social permission before you speak. You don't scan people's faces trying to figure out if they approve of you. Your gaze is steady, controlled, and completely unapologetic. When pressure hits, when conflict shows up, when someone tries to intimidate you, your eyes don't show panic. They don't dart around looking for an exit. They show calculation. They show that you're processing, evaluating, deciding your next move. Imagine this. You walk into a room. Maybe it's a meeting. Maybe it's a social gathering. Maybe it's just a regular day at work. And when you make eye contact with someone, they feel something. They feel weight. Not aggression, not hostility, just presence. Now, compare that to what most men do. Harmless men have this begging quality in their eyes. Their eyes say, please don't be upset with me. Please don't misunderstand me. Please still like me after I say this. Their eyes are restless, always moving, always reacting, always searching for that little signal that tells them they're still accepted, still approved of, still safe in the social hierarchy. But your eyes, they don't ask for anything. Machiavelli would judge a man by this single thing. Do his eyes reveal someone who has already chosen his path, or someone still waiting for permission to walk it? A man whose eyes constantly ask, what should I do? How should I react? What does everyone think I should do? That man is made to be ruled. He's waiting for directions. He's waiting for someone stronger to tell him what to think, how to feel, what to believe. But a man whose eyes say, I already know what I'm doing, that man cannot be ruled the same way. Your eyes carry a quiet certainty. And here's what happens because of it. When you look at people, they feel judged, not criticized, not attacked, just measured. They sense that you're not just looking at them. You're seeing them. You're seeing past the performance they put on for the world. You're seeing their insecurity hiding behind their confidence. You're seeing their lies hiding behind their smiles. You're seeing their weakness hiding behind their aggression. And that makes them deeply uncomfortable. That's why they make comments like, why do you look so serious all the time? Or you're so intense, man. Relax a little. What they're really saying is, your eyes make me feel exposed, and I need you to stop looking at me that way. Here's the reality we live in. Most people today have empty eyes glued to screens 12 hours a day, eyes scanning through hundreds of images, videos, notifications, eyes that don't really focus on anything real anymore. They're distracted, scattered, addicted to the next dopamine hit. But your eyes are awake, focused, present in the moment. And in a world full of people who aren't really looking at anything, that kind of focus becomes intimidating. People aren't used to being truly seen anymore. They're used to being glanced at, ignored, or superficially flattered. But when someone actually sees them, really sees them, it triggers something primal. It makes them want to either run or submit. Your conviction shows up in your eyes before you even speak. People can tell you've already made decisions about who you are and where you're going. They can tell you're not asking for permission or approval. And that, my friend, is what makes you dangerous to people who need others to stay uncertain and easy to control. In a world of empty, addicted eyes, conviction itself looks dangerous. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My gaze never wavers. Number 2, you read people beyond their words. Here's something you've probably noticed about yourself. Most people only hear words, but you're watching patterns. Let me ask you, when someone's talking to you, are you just listening to what they're saying? Or are you also watching how they're saying it? You notice things most people completely miss. That slight hesitation before someone tells a lie. That over-explanation when someone's trying to hide something. That instant shift in tone when the power dynamic in the room changes. You also remember things, And this is key. You remember who only shows up when they need something from you. You remember who mysteriously disappears when you need them. You remember who completely changes their personality depending on who's watching. And here's what separates you from everyone else. You don't always react in the moment. That's the part people don't understand about you. You don't call people out right there on the spot. You don't make a scene. You don't confront them immediately. You just file that information away silently, carefully. You allow people to complete their entire performance. You let them finish their act. And then, quietly, without announcement, you adjust your distance from them. Maybe you slowly cut them off. Maybe you just stop trusting them with important information. Maybe you keep them around but never let them close again. Now, Machiavelli lived in a world built on betrayal, ambition, and hidden motives. He understood that a ruler lives or dies based on one skill. How clearly he can see human nature. You're doing the exact same thing in modern life. You're scanning every interaction for loyalty, for fear, for greed, for envy. You're tracking people's motivations, even when they don't know they're revealing them. And no, this doesn't make you paranoid. There's a massive difference between paranoia and observation. Paranoid people see threats that don't exist. They imagine conspiracies everywhere. They think everyone's out to get them. But you're just observant. You see threats that actually do exist, but that everyone else is too naive, too distracted, or too desperate for approval to notice. You watch body language. You listen to tone changes. You pay attention to who someone becomes when they think nobody important is watching. You notice how people treat service workers. You notice how quickly they talk badly about people who aren't in the room. You notice how fast they switch sides when it benefits them. And here's what absolutely drives manipulative people crazy about you. Their weapons don't work on you. Think about the tools manipulators use: guilt, flattery, fake charm, emotional manipulation, playing the victim. They throw these tactics at you, and it's like watching someone try to use a key that doesn't fit the lock. It just doesn't work. You see exactly what they're doing, and your face shows them that you see it. So what do? They accuse you of being too critical, too analytical, too cold. They say you're overthinking things or reading too much into situations. But what they really mean is, I can't control you the way I control everyone else. And that's a problem for me. See, most people want to be taken at face value. They want you to just believe whatever they say without question. They want you to accept their words as truth and ignore everything else. But you don't do that. You measure people's actions against their words. And when those two things don't line up, you know exactly which one to trust. That makes you dangerous to anyone who relies on deception. That makes you dangerous to anyone who needs you to stay naive and easy to fool. Because once you see the game they're playing, you can't be played the same way anymore. When people realize you see through them, they stop seeing you as harmless. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I see beyond words. Number 3. Your battle scars changed your aura. Let me tell you something about your personality. Life forced this into you. Let me guess what you've been through. You've known real financial pressure, the kind that keeps you awake at 3:00 in the morning doing math in your head. The kind that makes you check your bank account multiple times before buying something basic like groceries. You've been betrayed by people you trusted, people you would have gone to war for, people you defended when others talked behind their backs, people you thought had your back no matter what. And then one day you realized they were never really on your side at all. You've experienced humiliating losses, failures that made you question everything about yourself, Times when you fell so hard you didn't know if you'd get back up. And here's the worst part. There were periods in your life where no one came to save you. No safety net, no rescue team, no family stepping in with money, no friends offering solutions. Just you and the mess and the choice. You had two options in those moments: collapse or harden. You chose to harden. Those experiences didn't just teach you lessons you could write in a journal. They physically rebuilt you from the inside out. They changed your nervous system. They changed how you process threats. They changed how you evaluate people. You stopped expecting fairness from the world. You stopped believing everyone has good intentions. You stopped handing out access to your inner world like free samples at a grocery store. Now, here's what Machiavelli understood that most people don't. He trusted men who had seen chaos far more than men who grew up in comfort and safety. Why? Because a man who's never been tested is just a theory. You don't know how he'll react under real pressure. He folds the moment reality stops being polite to him. But a man who's been shaped by storms, that man is harder to move, harder to scare, harder to manipulate. You carry that now. It's in everything you do. Even when you're completely calm, there's a heaviness to your presence. People feel it without understanding what they are feeling. You don't react to small drama because you've seen actual problems. Someone complaining about their coffee order being wrong doesn't move you. Someone gossiping about who said what at a party doesn't get your energy. Someone having a meltdown over minor inconveniences doesn't pull you into their chaos. Why? Because you've dealt with real issues. You've been in situations where the stakes actually mattered. So when people bring you small manufactured drama, you just look at them like, is that it? That's what you're upset about? And they can feel that. They sense you're not impressed by their performance. They sense you've seen darkness and survived it. People don't know how to label what they're feeling around you, so they just keep their distance. They sense something, but can't name it. Your scars are invisible, but they're written all over you. In the way you move through spaces, in the way you don't panic when plans fall apart, in the way you handle pressure without falling apart or blaming everyone around you. You know what rock bottom tastes like. So threats don't shake you the way they shake people who have always had a cushion to land on. You've been broke before. You've been betrayed before. You've been broken before, and you survived every single time. Now you carry that survival like invisible armor. Soft people look at you and feel uncomfortable because they sense you've been through fire. They haven't. They've been protected, sheltered, given participation trophies, told they're special just for existing. So when they meet someone who's been forged by real pain, they don't know how to relate. They don't have the reference points. They might call you jaded. They might say you're too guarded, too defensive, too closed off. But what they don't understand is that your walls exist for a reason. You didn't build them out of fear. You built them out of experience. Your scars don't make you bitter. They make you immune. And immunity always looks dangerous to the infected. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Pain forged my power. Number 4. You are comfortable with silence. Here's a test. Can you sit in complete silence for 5 minutes without feeling the need to grab your phone, turn on music, or start a conversation? Most people can't. Soft men treat silence like it's a threat to their existence. But you treat silence like a weapon. You don't feel this burning urge to talk just to fill empty space. You don't perform emotions to entertain people around you. You can sit in complete silence without feeling insecure about it. While everyone else in the room is scrambling to say something, anything, just to break the uncomfortable quiet. You're just sitting there calm, present, completely unbothered. And here's what happens next. This is the interesting part. When you stay quiet, other people start revealing themselves. They can't help it. They start justifying decisions you never questioned. They start oversharing details you never asked for. They laugh nervously at things that aren't funny. They over-explain simple things that needed no explanation. They feel the pressure of your presence, not your volume. Your silence creates a kind of vacuum in the conversation, and most people rush to fill it. They are uncomfortable with the weight of it. But you just let the silence sit there heavy and thick, and you watch what people do with it. That's power. Machiavelli understood this deeply. Power often lies in what you hold back, not in what you express. A ruler who talks too much reveals too much. He shows his hand. He exposes his strategies. He gives away his position. But a ruler who listens carefully and speaks selectively, that man is dangerous because no one knows what he's actually thinking. You've learned this maybe without anyone teaching it to you. You've learned that your words carry more weight when you use fewer of them. You've learned that people actually listen more carefully when you're not always talking. And when you do finally speak, it lands differently. It's not background noise. It's not filler. It's signal. But here's how people misinterpret your silence. They say things like, "Why are you so serious? You make everything so intense. Come on, say something. Why are you so quiet?" What they really mean is, "Your silence is forcing me to hear my own weakness. And I need you to start talking so I can stop feeling this discomfort." They're uncomfortable because silence reveals things. It reveals their nervousness. It reveals their desperate need for external validation. It reveals how much they depend on constant noise and stimulation to avoid being alone with their own thoughts. You don't have that problem. You're comfortable in your own head. You've done the work of sitting with yourself. You've faced your demons in the quiet. So, silence doesn't scare you anymore. Most people are terrified of silence because it forces them to confront themselves. But you've already had that confrontation multiple times. So now, silence is just another tool you use. When you're comfortable with silence, you no longer need noise to prove you exist. And that deeply unsettles anyone who does. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence reveals truth. Number 5. You choose discomfort over safety. Let me ask you something honest. When's the last time you chose the harder path when an easier one was right there? Most people will sacrifice almost anything to stay comfortable. They'll sacrifice their health, their potential, their self-respect, anything to avoid discomfort. But you're built differently. You're willing to sacrifice comfort itself to become unbreakable. You train your body when it would be so much easier to sleep in. You work on your projects when you absolutely don't feel like it. You say yes to hard things, physical pain, mental challenges, ambitious risks that scare you. While everyone around you is constantly looking for the path of least resistance, you're deliberately choosing the path with the most resistance. Why do you do this? Let me tell you what you already know deep down. You don't trust a life that's too easy. You know that comfort comes with a hidden price tag, and that price is dependence, fragility, and slow decay. Every time you choose the easy option, you get a little weaker. Every time you avoid discomfort, you become a little more fragile. Every time you take the shortcut, you lose a piece of the edge that keeps you sharp. You know this. You've seen it happen to people around you. So, you do hard things on purpose. You wake up at 5:00 in the morning when you could sleep until 8. You push through workouts that actually hurt. You take on projects that terrify you. You put yourself in situations that force you to grow instead of staying in situations where you're already comfortable. Machiavelli observed something critical about power. The men who prepare during peace are the ones who survive during war. You live like the storm is always coming. You're not waiting for life to force you to be strong. You're choosing strength now before you need it. You're strengthening your body so it doesn't fail you when it matters. You're sharpening your mind so you can think clearly under pressure. You're cutting off habits that make you weak, soft, dependent. And here's what most people don't understand about you. You're not doing any of this to impress anyone. You're not posting your workout stats for likes. You're not bragging about your discipline at parties. You're doing it because you understand that the world is fundamentally unpredictable. And when things go sideways, and they always eventually do, you want to be the kind of man who's ready. Your discipline makes regular people uncomfortable. They feel exposed standing next to someone who consistently does what they know they should do but keep avoiding. So they need to label you. They call you obsessed, extreme, too intense, no balance. They need to believe you're the weird one, because if you're not weird, then that means they're just weak and they can't handle that truth. But you don't care what they think, do you? You're not looking for their approval or their understanding. You're building something they can't even see yet. You're preparing for battles they don't even know are coming. While everyone else is optimizing for short-term comfort, you're optimizing for long-term resilience. And when the world gets hard, and it always eventually gets hard, you'll be the one man standing calm while everyone else is panicking and begging for someone to save them. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose the hard path. Number 6. You are unconcerned with opinions. Here's the easiest way to control a man. Make him absolutely terrified of being disliked. Once you've got him afraid of social rejection, you can make him do almost anything. You can make him change his beliefs, abandon his values, ignore his own judgment, all to avoid the pain of disapproval. But that strategy doesn't work on you anymore, does it? You don't collapse when someone disapproves of you. You don't immediately rewrite your entire value system just to fit in with whatever group you're around. You don't need a constant stream of validation to keep moving forward. You've reached a point where other people's opinions just don't hold the power over you that they used to. You say no, and you don't decorate it with 5 paragraphs of justification and apology. You don't soften it with excessive explanations. You don't perform guilt or regret to make the other person feel better about your boundary. You just say no, and then you move on. You walk away from people who drain you. You walk away from trends that don't align with where you're going. You walk away from situations that require you to be someone you're not. And you've accepted something that most people never accept. Some people will misunderstand you forever. They'll create entire narratives about who you are and why you do what you do. And those narratives will be completely wrong. And you're okay with that. Machiavelli knew that any man who serves public opinion can never hold real power. Why? Because real decisions, the ones that actually matter, often come with anger, resistance, pushback, and criticism. If you need everyone to like you, you literally cannot make those decisions. You'll always choose the popular option over the right option. But you've learned to be okay with being misunderstood. You've learned to be okay with being disliked if it means staying aligned with your own internal strategy. Now, this doesn't mean you're rude for no reason. It doesn't mean you're cruel or deliberately hurtful. It means you're selective. You care deeply about the opinions of people who have earned your respect, people who have proven their loyalty, people whose judgment you actually trust. Those opinions matter to you. But random opinions from random people who don't know you, haven't walked in your shoes, and have no stake in your success. Those opinions are just noise, and people absolutely hate this about you. They try to manipulate you with guilt. They try shame. They try social pressure. They try emotional blackmail. And none of it works the way it's supposed to. They realize pretty quickly, I can't control this man by threatening to withdraw my approval. That's when they start calling you arrogant, selfish, cold, disconnected. Because, in their world, if you're not bending to their will, constantly seeking their approval, you must be broken somehow. You must be the problem. But you know better. You know that living for other people's approval is a prison with invisible bars. You know that trying to please everyone means you end up standing for absolutely nothing. So you've chosen a different path. You've chosen to live by your own code, even when it costs you popularity points, even when it makes you the villain in someone else's story. You're not trying to be liked by everyone. You're trying to respect yourself when you look in the mirror. And those two goals are often completely incompatible. Once opinions lose their power over you, other people lose their power over you. And that is always perceived as dangerous. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I stand firm alone. Number 7. You have an air of mystery. We live in the age of oversharing. Everyone broadcasts everything. What they ate for breakfast. What they're feeling every single hour, who they're upset with. What they're planning next month. Their entire emotional journey documented in real time for strangers. But not you. You don't dump your entire life story on people you just met. You don't post every single detail about your emotions, your plans, your failures, your fears. You share selectively, intentionally, not impulsively. And in an age where exposure is the default, the man who keeps himself hidden becomes instantly suspicious and powerful. People today are genuinely addicted to exposure. They feel like they don't exist unless they're sharing. They need witnesses to their lives to feel real. But you've kept things to yourself. Not because you're hiding something terrible. Not because you're ashamed. You've just learned that not everything needs to be shared. You understand that mystery is a form of power. Here's what people don't know about you. They don't know your full past. They don't know what truly broke you or how you rebuilt yourself. They don't know what you're quietly planning behind the scenes. They don't know how far you're willing to go if someone crosses a line. Machiavelli understood this at a deep level. Secrecy is leverage. The less others know about your motives, your limits, your capabilities, the harder it is for them to predict you, the harder it is to corner you, the harder it is to manipulate you. Mystery isn't performing some character. It's simply refusing to hand over your internal map to people who haven't earned access to it. When people can't figure you out, they have to respect you by default. They can't dismiss you because they don't fully understand you. They can't underestimate you because they don't know what you're actually capable of. Your mystery creates uncertainty, and uncertainty makes people uncomfortable. So, they feel slightly on edge around you. They can't fully categorize you. They can't put you in a simple box with a label. They start wondering, what's he really thinking? What does he actually want? What would he do if I pushed him too far? And that uncertainty becomes its own form of power. Because when people don't know where your boundaries are, they're much more careful about crossing them. When they don't know your limits, they're far less likely to test them. You're not trying to be mysterious as a strategy. You're just private. You've learned through experience that oversharing weakens your position. You've learned that people will use your vulnerabilities against you if you hand them out freely. So you keep your cards close to your chest. You let people see what you want them to see. Nothing more, nothing less. When people can't read you, they stop treating you like decoration and start treating you like a variable. They must respect. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Mystery is my power. Let's bring this all together. We just covered 7 signs, eyes of conviction, the ability to read people beyond their words. Battle scars that fundamentally hardened your aura. Deep comfort with silence, deliberately choosing discomfort over safety, being genuinely unconcerned with others' opinions, and carrying an air of mystery. These 7 signs point to one undeniable reality about you. You are not easy to bend. You are not easy to buy. You are not easy to break. And in a world that runs almost entirely on control, manipulation, and social pressure, that makes you dangerous. But here's what Machiavelli would want you to understand, and this is critical, so listen carefully. Being dangerous is not enough on its own. A dangerous man without discipline destroys himself first. He burns everything down, including his own life. He becomes chaos looking for a target. But a dangerous man with discipline, that man quietly shifts the balance of power in every room he enters. So, if you recognized yourself in these 7 signs, here's what I want you to do. Don't waste another second apologizing for who you've become. Don't let soft people convince you that you're somehow wrong for being difficult to control. Instead, refine this. Sharpen it, aim it at something worthy of your energy. The world doesn't need more harmless men right now. It has plenty of those. Men who nod along with everything. Men who stand for nothing. Men who can be pushed in any direction, depending on who's doing the pushing. What the world actually needs is men who can handle real pressure without breaking. Men who can see through lies and manipulation. Men who can sit in silence with themselves. Men who can move through chaos without losing their center. You are never designed to be comfortable to everyone around you. That was never your purpose. You were designed to be effective, to be resilient, to be someone who cannot be easily manipulated, bought off, or scared into submission. That's not a personality flaw. That's your edge. That's your advantage in a world full of people who fold at the slightest pressure. If you want to turn this intimidating presence into cold strategy, into real leverage, into genuine control over the direction of your life, you know what to do. Subscribe to this channel. Stay here. Keep watching because I'm going to keep giving you the lessons that most people are too fragile, too comfortable, too scared to hear. This is not content for everyone. It's content for men who are ready to stop apologizing and start operating from a position of strength. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I am built unbreakable. I'll see you in the next one.